94 Rocks, Jay-Z backstage once again at RockFest 2025, and I'm sitting right next to Royale Lynn, and we just saw you perform a little bit earlier today, and got to ask, what was it like to perform here at RockFest?
It was one of the greatest shows that we've played. Honestly, we all left the stage being like, wow, it's such a special day, such a special stage, and to be on the main stage today was just amazing. We're so grateful to be here.
Now, I know you're on just a little mini tour right now. I think you had a couple stops before. I think you've got Upheaval coming up too, and then kind of end things out. Do you like just the little run, or do you like going out on those tours, which I know you've kind of been opening for some of the acts earlier this year and even last year?
So I love to tour. I want to be on the road 365 days a year. I love it. I think it's because I grew up in a trailer that I just love the RV life. Nice. And it's been a lot of fun. So it's been fun to travel, not only just like with the music, but also with my best friends who are, my band members, and just to go out on the road and do the thing. It's just been so awesome, and to do it with best friends is even better. And
do you like doing festivals? Because sometimes festivals are not the easiest thing to do, especially the way they're set up. Sometimes, the VIPs maybe don't know who you are at all, and maybe there's nobody even in front of you, but sometimes you just got to overlook that. Is that but it's the other way that you can all of a sudden get a whole bunch of new fans too.
No, totally. I think festivals are special because we have a lot of people who haven't heard of us yet, and they get to come to the show and experience it live. And if they haven't heard from us, hopefully they are now fans when they leave here. So we love the festival circuits. We've had a blast, and even getting the opportunity to be on some of the main stages this year has just been so amazing. It's been awesome.
I don't know your history prior to 2023, but that's where I learned about you through social media, and I think you were pushing everything you could to get out there. Is that really how this started for you?
So I moved to Nashville to write songs 10 years ago, and I kind of knew that I wanted to do something in the rock space, but obviously, I'm from a very small town. There's no cookie cutter way of kind of doing this, and so I figured out how to get my music out there, figured out how to use social media, and I was like, I have come too far, and I moved countries to be able to do this, and I was like, I'm not going to let social media slow me down. So when we had our first mega viral moment, that was when I was like, oh my gosh, we've kind of gotten out to the masses, and that's really cool. And that's what's exciting about social media nowadays, is that it does have the power to change your life, and it's really cool to have a Billboard Hard Rock #1. And I didn't have a label, and I didn't have management. And we did that all on our own, which is really, really special.
Yeah, that is the cool thing about you. And this story, people don't know Royale Lynn, which I hope they would know on our airways, because we play all your stuff that you've had out there. But this is a great story. And, you got to have some cool stories, too. I'm assuming there's, you've gone through a lot of challenges to get to where you are today, but it makes you stronger, doesn't it?
100%. I think that every day we're learning something new, whether it's within our show or us as a touring band, and it's been really cool to actually just be down in the trenches and be working as hard as we're working to get the music out there. And I think the journey is the best part, and we don't take this for granted at all.
No, not at all. That's a great way to look at that. Gotta ask, because back in that September of 23, when I was watching those TikToks, those Instagrams, those Facebooks, those Reels, you were touting yourself as Punk Tree, punk and country. Have you changed a little bit of that now since you've gone from that to now we are today?
Yes, and I think that music and people evolve. And I really think that when we were creating the record that we just dropped, I really wanted to be authentic to myself, and I really wanted to bring forward a sound that maybe people didn't know yet, because it's kind of a hybrid. We have storytelling, which is kind of from the country world, and then we have pop, we have metal, we have, we mix so many different things together, and I just wanted to create art that I was proud of. And I think that as an artist, people are always evolving and coming into their own, and I really think that we came into more of a metal hard rock sound, which is where my heart lies anyway. So it's been a really cool journey to just see where we landed on all of that with the record and the sound of it.
Yeah. You've done a lot of hard work to get the deal you got last year with Epitaph, which is one of the hottest labels right now in the rock world. What was that like when you finally got the call and said, hey, we want to sign you?
I knew the minute that I met Brett and Sue and Edie and Lisa and everybody over there, I knew the second that I met with them that they were my family, and they understood me, and they were like, we just want to see you create the art that you were born to create, and that's truly special, and I will forever be grateful that they gave me the opportunity to be able to do this.
That's amazing, and obviously from that, you've had so many opportunities and things have come along that we don't have enough time to talk about, but what are some of the highlights, I guess, maybe from the last year that you're just enamored by, excited to have done? Yes. And then obviously there's got to be some things that you're wanting to do too in the future.
I think that getting to sing with Disturbed at Aftershock in Rocklahoma is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I was so, I was shocked when we got that call. So getting to do that was fun. Getting to sing Broken with Seether also is top 5 moments of my life. That was such a special song, and to be able to go out there on the last night of tour and sing it with them was truly just out of this world. I still can't believe that I get to do this for a living. So there's been a lot of moments, and I think there's a lot of moments that people don't see either, that even today, getting off stage and we're with the band, and it's just we're getting to play these awesome festivals, and we're new to the festival scene. We've only been doing it about a year, so to be able to play the main stages in front of the rock community and be accepted with open arms has been truly special.
How about influences for you from the past, maybe growing up to today? Yes. And maybe influences now without you're now in the industry?
I mean, Day to Remember. From day one, Homesick changed the way that I listen to music, and I've been listening to them since that record dropped, and I still listen to it. Everybody in the RV is always it's so funny because you're always listening to A Day to Remember, but it just shows that your favorite artists also evolve and their sound evolves, and I'm still a fan from the Homesick record all the way up to the brand new record that just dropped. Every single song is a smash. I'm like, come on, boys, it's amazing. But I think that I gain a lot of influences from everywhere, and I think creating something that has a mental health standpoint, we kind of had to dig into something that we hadn't really heard yet, and I think getting to explore in the creation process was kind of how we ended up here, and taking chances and seeing how far we could push the box, and that's been really fun.
Let's talk about the mental health side of things, because that is pushed aside. I think artist in rock radio has done a better job in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, yes. But it's still, we're mental health friendly, but not a lot of people are really still talking about it.
I don't think it's talked about enough in small towns. That's kind of what stemmed this whole process. Was I wanted to talk about my own mental health struggles, to maybe give someone out there the hope that they're not alone, and they have someone that they can come to a show and feel safe. And I really wanted that to come through in the music as well. So we kind of created a world from all the deepest, darkest places of my mind, and that's kind of how we created the record. So every single song is actually based around Pandora's box, because when she opened it, all the evils went into the world. And I said, what if each evil was actually a mental health themed evil? And then we started adding my own evils, where we got dragon and witch, and we kind of formulated our own Pandora's box, and truly I think that there's magic in every song, because we're able to talk about mental health. Every song sounds so different than the others. It's really, really fun.
Let's talk about that album. You just dropped it last month, yes. And Black Magic is the album, and it's doing very well. Your thoughts of that album? It's your baby, obviously. It's the first one, so talk about it a little bit, and let our listeners know how much that album means to you. So
I always knew that when I dropped my first record, I wanted to say something, and I wanted to leave kind of a lasting impression of who I am. And I understand that, we come from a space, I'm a metalhead that grew up in the country, and I love how I was raised. I love that I had my CD Walkman and all my favorite bands that I still listen to, and now we're on the bill with, which is crazy. But I really wanted to talk about mental health, and I wanted to dig really deep into the darkest parts of myself, to be able to show people that it's okay to talk about hard things, especially in mental health, because it isn't talked about enough, and everyone struggles with something. And I just think we need to end the stigma around it. So I made a record that you wouldn't even know you're listening to a song about mental health if you didn't listen or look at the lyrics, And I think that's really special too, is we can talk about it, and it is accepted. And so I hope that people that come to shows know that it's a safe space.
All right, let's talk about the brand new song you just dropped. It was in my Dropbox the other day from Edie and Epitaph, obviously, called Greed. I got to hear it for the very first time. I think it's a song that definitely could maybe be your first top 20 song on rock radio. We'll see if it happens. We got to get all these programmers behind it to get on top of it. But talk about that song a little bit and the meaning for it.
I mean, this song was such a special one for us. We all left that day. After we wrote the song, we all left that day, and I think I spun it back to back probably like 20 times. And I was like, there's something special. I feel like there's a magic within this song. And for me, I really wanted to write, we were diving into the Pandora's Box theme, and I was like, maybe Greed could be a cool song. And truly, I think magic happened that day in that write, and I just remember leaving being like, the riff is heavy, and when I close my eyes, I just hear heavy riffs. And for me, it was like, it kind of had that A Day to Remember influence, but it also was like a female-fronted thing, and I thought that was super interesting too. So for me, that song was kind of, it's for people who just like, you can't get enough. And like, that's why I really wanted to write a song about that, because it truly does happen in everyday life all the time. And yeah, Greed's just, one of my favorite songs that we've ever written and got to release. And I'm so proud and happy that it gets to have the life that it deserves.
That's awesome. You mentioned female-fronted band. Obviously, you're that. There's a lot of ladies before you that knock the door down. I'm sure you've got some gals that you want to thank and talk about, and maybe you met some of those already, too.
I recently got to meet Lizzie Hale, and oh my goodness, just like such a great human. I love seeing women kill it out here in a male-dominated field. I think that women can be in hard rock and metal, and I love getting to watch the shows because it truly, I think that there's a lot of things that women can get to say, and I feel like, out here at all the festivals, like, girls can be heavy too. And that's the cool part about it, is everybody's in their own lane doing their own thing, and the women in rock just lift each other up and support each other, and that has been so amazing to witness and experience.
Well, I myself have 3 daughters, so I know exactly what it is for ladies in the house. How about you? Let's talk about, inspiring younger girls to maybe be someday somebody like you that's now on the big stage.
Oh my gosh, I just flash back to when I was a kid and I was listening to Flyleaf and listening to Lacey scream, and I was like, I have always wanted to, I always knew I wanted to sing, but I feel like I had certain females that I would listen to and just be like, what if it is possible? And, I feel like I dreamt so big, and I never let anyone tell me that I couldn't do it. If someone told me no, I figured out a new way to get around in the music industry, because it is hard, especially as a female, and no one takes you seriously until something's happening. So I was like, you know what, we're going to go out and make a moment for ourselves and see what happens. And I truly think that if you're an aspiring artist out there, go out there and do your thing and do it to the best of your ability, and then people will come and they will watch. And if you build it, they will come, And I think it's truly special. If you are dreaming to be an artist, go and do it, because you're going to regret it if you don't.
Well, I know we got to get going here. I think you and I could talk for another hour. We could probably start doing podcasts together, so maybe we should think about that. We should do that. Yeah,
yes.
I'd be game for that, definitely.
Let's
start and got to start somewhere, and you move your way up. So
I'm in.
What's the future now? Obviously, Greed's out. You got the new album out. What about touring and some maybe things coming up? Can you mention anything yet?
We have a lot in the works, and we have a lot of stuff that we're about to announce. Okay. So yes, but we're not slowing down. Full speed ahead. We're going to write another record. We're going to watch Greed at radio, and I'm just so grateful that you guys are spinning it, so thank you so much. And yeah, we're just excited to be on this journey.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure Edie will get me all the information when that stuff that you can't say right now that's in the back of your head. But I always try to see if I can get an artist to slip up, but you guys are all so good, so professional. So once again, great job up there today. It was fun to see you, fun to hang out with you here backstage a little bit, and looking forward to your success in the future. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you watching the show, and thank you for loving the music. Once again, we're backstage with Royale Lynn at RockFest. It's Jay-Z on 94 Rocks.